welcome back. It's Thursday, day before Friday. So let's read about something on Wikipedia. I still have 1,000 subjects I like to read about. This video is called Looking at PC Gamer Hardware, because I was reading about computer processors. I still do that, but I made a new video called PC hardware something. That in English, that will be my new video. Next video, I'm looking at old computer hardware, and I'm still collecting computer processors. I'm collecting that, but I have my debt problem. I have my credit card debt problem. I have to lower my debt on my credit cards, and I have to move out my apartments, and I have problem with my body weight. My computer's old, I'm old, so I have all kind of problems every day. So I'm using Wikipedia just to read and have a good day. I was reading about this Gulfstream G650 super business jet. The G700 have a range like crazy long range, like 15,000 kilometers. That Gulfstream is owned by General Dynamics. It's a big defense company, so I like to read about it. So let's just try. I need to get back to read about computers. So that's another company, Bombardier. Read about Bombardier Aviation and this super business jets. Then gliders, something about motor gliders. Ultralights, Amazons, and Amazon River. So let's start reading. I need a minute to go to my bed. So Wikipedia, that's super good. You can read about so many subjects. The speaker on 48.
General Dynamics. General Dynamics Corporation. The headquarters of General Dynamics in February 2021. Type public, traded as NYSE, GD. S&P 100 component. S&P 500 component. Industry: aerospace, defense, shipbuilding. Founded February 7, 1899. Founder John Philip Holland. Headquarters Reston, Virginia, United States. Area served worldwide. Eki people. Feb Novakovic, Chairman and CEO. Products: aircraft flight control system, auxiliary ships, business jets, combat vehicles, communication systems, I-Systems. Jones. General Dynamics Corporation, GD, is an American publicly traded aerospace and defense corporation headquartered in Reston, Virginia. As of 2020, it was the fifth largest defense contractor in the world by arms sales, and fifth largest in the United States by total sales. 2. The company is a Fortune 100 company, and was ranked number 94 in 2022. 3. Formed in 1954 with the merger of submarine manufacturer Electric Boat and aircraft manufacturer Canadair. 4. The corporation today consists of 10 subsidiary companies with operations in 45 countries. The company's products include Gulfstream business jets, Virginia and Columbia-class nuclear-powered submarines, Ali Burke-class guided missile destroyers, M1 Abrams tanks and Stryker armored fighting vehicles. In 2022, General Dynamics had worldwide sales of $39.4 billion and a workforce of approximately 106,500 full-time employees. 1. The current chairman and chief executive officer, CEO, is Fed Novakovic. History. Electric boat. General Dynamics traces its ancestry to John Philip Holland S. Holland Torpedo Boat Company. 5. In 1899, Isaac Rice bought the company from Holland and renamed it Electric Boat Company. 6. Electric Boat was responsible for developing the U.S. Navy's first modern submarines, which were purchased by the Navy in 1900. 7. In 1906, Electric Boat subcontracted submarine construction to the Fall River Shipyard in Quincy, Massachusetts, to build the submarines they had designed and won contracts for. Between 1917 and 1924, the company was named Submarine Boat Corporation. 6. In 1933, Electric Boat acquired ownership of a shipyard in Groton, Connecticut, to build submarines. The first submarine built in Groton to be delivered to the U.S. Navy was USS Cuttlefish in 1934. Electric Boat was cash flush but lacking in work following World War II, during which it produced 80 submarines for the Navy, with its workforce shrinking from 13,000 to 4,000 by 1946. 6. President. Act ships. Munitions. Nuclear-powered submarines. Stealth ship. Tanks. Vision systems. Watercraft. Weapon systems. Services artificial intelligence. Charter services. Command and control. Cybersecurity. Fixed base operator, FBO. Intelligence services. IT. I-service management. Maintenance, repair, and overhaul, MRO. Naval design. Shipbuilding. Ship repair. Software development. Revenue increase. $39.41 billion, 2022, operating income increase. $4.21 billion, 2022, net income increase. $3.39 billion, 2022, total assets increase. $51.59 billion, 2022, total equity increase. $18.57 billion, 2022, number of employees 106,500, 2022, divisions aerospace, marine systems, combat systems, technologies, subsidiaries Bath Iron Works, Electric Boat, General Dynamics Information Technology, and Chief Executive Officer John J. Hopkins started looking for companies that would fit into Electric Boat's market in hopes of diversifying. 6. Canadair purchase. Canadair was owned by the Canadian government and was suffering from the same post-war malaise as Electric Boat. It was up for sale, and Hopkins bought the company for $10 million in 1946. The factory alone was worth more than $22 million according to the Canadian government's calculations. 6. Excluding the value of the remaining contracts for planes or spare parts. However, Canadair's production line and inventory systems were in disorder when Electric Boat purchased the company. Hopkins hired Canadian-born mass production specialist H. Oliver West to take over the president's role and return Canadair to profitability. Shortly after the takeover, Canadair began delivering its new Canadair North Star, a version of the Douglas DC-4, and was able to deliver aircraft to TransCanada Airlines, Canadian Pacific Airlines, and British Overseas Airways Corporation, BORC, well in advance of their contracted delivery times. 8. Defense spending increased with the onset of the Cold War. And Canadair went on to win many Canadian military contracts for the Royal Canadian Air Force and became a major aerospace company. These included Canadair CT-133 Silver Star trainer, the Canadair Argus long-range maritime reconnaissance and transport aircraft, and the Canadair F-86 Sabre. Between 1950 and 1958 1815 Sabres were built. Canadair also produced 200 CF-104 Starfighter supersonic fighter aircraft, a license-built version of the Lockheed F-104. In 1976, General Dynamics sold Canadair to the Canadian government for $38 million. 4. Canadair was acquired by Bombardier Inc. in 1986. 9. General Dynamics emerges. Aircraft production became increasingly important at Canadair, and Hopkins argued that the name Electric Boat was no longer appropriate, so Electric Boat was reorganized as General Dynamics on the 24th of April 1952. 10. General Dynamics purchased Convair from the Atlas Group in March 1953. 10. The sale was approved by government oversight with the provision that GD would continue to operate out of Air Force Plant 4 in Fort Worth, Texas. This factory had been set up in order to spread out strategic aircraft production and rent it to Convair during the war to produce B-24 Liberator bombers. General Dynamics Land Systems. General Dynamics Mission Systems. General Dynamics UK. Gulfstream. Jet Aviation. MUIG. NASCO. Website eg.com /references. 1. Convair worked as an independent division inside General Dynamics and, over the next decade, developed the F-106 Delta Dart Interceptor, the B-58 Hustler bomber, and the Convair 880 and 990 airliners. Convair also developed the Atlas missile, FUSA's first operational intercontinental ballistic missile. 11. General Dynamics purchased Liquid Carbonic Corporation in September 1957 and controlled it as a wholly owned subsidiary until a federal antitrust ruling required its sale to shareholders in January 1969, being bought later that month by Houston Natural Gas Company. 12. 13. Management churn. Hopkins fell seriously ill in 1957 and was eventually replaced by Frank Pace later that year. 10. Meanwhile, John Naish succeeded Joseph McNarney as president of Convair. Chicago industrialist Henry Crown became the company's largest shareholder and merged his Material Service Corporation with GD in 1959. 14. GD subsequently reorganized into Eastern Group in New York City and Western Group in San Diego, California, with the latter taking over all of the aerospace activities and dropping the Convair brand name from its aircraft in the process. 15. Frank Pace retired under pressure in 1962 and Roger Lewis, former Assistant Secretary of the Air Force and Pan American Airways CEO, was brought in as CEO. The company recovered, then fell back into the same struggles. In 1970, the board brought in McDonnell Douglas President Dave Lewis, no relation, as chairman and CEO, who served until retiring in 1985. 6. Aviation in the 1960s. During the early 1960s, the company bid on the United States Air Force's Tactical Fighter, Experimental, TFX, project for a new low-level penetrator. Robert McNamara, newly installed as the Secretary of Defense, forced a merger of the TFX with U.S. Navy plans for a new long-range fleet defender aircraft. Since GD lacked experience designing naval aircraft, it partnered with Grumman to develop a version for aircraft carrier operations. After 4 rounds of bids and changes, the GD/Grumman team finally won the contract over a Boeing submission. The land-based F-111 first flew in December 1964. The carrier-capable F-111B flew in May 1965, but proved overweight and underpowered for the Navy's needs. 16. With the naval version not accepted, production estimates for 2,400 F-111s including exports were sharply reduced, but GD still made a $300 million profit on the project. 15. Grumman went on to use many of the innovations of the F-111 in the F-14 Tomcat. 6. An aircraft designed solely as a carrier-borne fighter. Reorganization. In May 1965, GD reorganized into 12 operating divisions based on product lines. The board decided to build all future planes in Fort Worth, ending plane production at Convair's original plant in San Diego but continuing with space and missile development there. In October 1970, Roger Lewis left and David S. Lewis from McDonnell Douglas was named CEO. Lewis required that the company headquarters move to St. Louis, Missouri, which occurred in February 1971. 17. F-16 success. In 1972, GD bid on the USAF's lightweight fighter, LWF, project. GD and Northrop were awarded prototype contracts. GD's F-111 program was winding down, and the company needed a new aircraft contract. It organized its own version of Lockheed's Skunk Works, the Advanced Concepts Laboratory, and responded with a new aircraft design incorporating advanced technologies. The company submitted a design in a 1972 competition for a new lightweight fighter, which it won. This was the F-16 Fighting Falcon. 18. GD's YF-16 first flew in January 1974 and proved to have slightly better performance than the YF-17 in head-to-head testing. It entered production as the F-16 in January 1975 with an initial order of 650 and a total order of 1,388. The F-16 also won contracts worldwide, beating the F-17 in foreign competition as well. GD built an aircraft production factory in Fort Worth, Texas. F-16 orders eventually totaled more than 4,600, making it the company's largest and most successful program. Land systems and marine systems focus. In 1976, General Dynamics sold the struggling Canadair back to the Canadian government for $38 million. By 1984, General Dynamics had 4 divisions: Convair in San Diego, General Dynamics Fort Worth, General Dynamics Pomona, and General Dynamics Electronics. In 1985, a further reorganization created a Space Systems Division from the Convair Space Division. In 1985, GD also acquired Cessna. In 1986, the Pomona Division, which mainly produced the Standard Missile and the Phalanxes for the Navy, was split up, creating the Valley Systems Division. Valley Systems produced the Stinger surface-to-air missile and the Rolling Airframe Missile, RAM. Both units were recombined into one entity in 1992. Henry Crown, still GD's largest shareholder, died on the 15th of August, 1990. Following this, the company started to rapidly divest its underperforming divisions under CEO William Anders. Cessna was resold to Textron in January 1992. The San Diego and Pomona missile production units to General Motors US Aerospace in May 1992. the Fort Worth aircraft production to Lockheed in March 1993. A nearby electronics production facility was separately sold to Israeli-based Elbit Systems, marking that company's entry into the U.S. market, and its Space Systems division to Martin Marietta in 1994. The remaining Convair aircraft structure unit was sold to McDonnell Douglas in 1999.